Sup nerds, I'm Tom.
And I'm Aaron.
And we're taking a look at the absolutely beautiful semi-abstract game Koi by Smirk and Laughter. Not Smirk and Dagger, Smirk and Laughter.
So as Tom said, this is a semi-abstract game where you're going to be moving your koi fish around the pond, trying to eat dragonflies, and trying to eat frogs to score points. All of your movement is done via cards that you get dealt each turn. A lot of them are movement, and a couple of them actually interact and they put different effects on the board. They put frogs on the board, they put rocks, or they put these...
flower petals? These are lily pads.
Yeah, but these
Water.
are...
Just skip
cherry
past
blossoms!
it, man.
Cherry blossoms!
There we go.
Everything has a unique effect on the game, and it definitely has a little bit of an intense strategy behind moving your koi fish around correctly and getting to the place you want to be to actually eat those dragonflies.
So, this game is really strategic, but it's luck-based strategy. It's the playing the hand you're dealt. Quite literally, in this game, you get dealt cards, and you can use as many... I do like the freedom that you can use as many of them as you want, but you are limited to 5. At the end, you get 3 handed to you. You could just do nothing, then get handed 3 more, and have to discard 1, and then get handed 3 more, and you could start around with 8 cards, potentially. Mm-hmm. But you would have to burn 2... Well, I mean, there's other factors, because there's the weather cards. But the idea is that you can play as few or as many as you want, and that really mitigates, you're not just going on the cards that you were dealt that turn.
Yes.
There we go.
You can also discard as many cards as you want and draw -1 cards back. So, you have 5 cards in your hand, you don't like them, or they're not going to really work out the way you want them, because sometimes you end up with cards that tell you to turn left and you want to turn right, and it's just like, I'm just going to get rid of all of these cards and draw up a new hand, and hopefully I can move the way I want. That being said, the movement on these cards are really a really interesting way of having this abstract kind of chess-like movement. It's just weird. You have to face a certain way, eat wherever your koi is facing, and then when you play the card, it's like, okay, I'm going to turn left. So you turn 1 hex face left, and then it says, okay, move left again. You do another hex face left, and then it says move straight. Now, in the new way you're facing, you move 1 hex straight. So you have to really think through your cards to go, okay, I want to play this one, so I'll end up moving, turn, turn, move, and then this one is turn, 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 move, and you're like, oh man, that turns me all the way around. Or, you can really benefit off of the ones that have optional movement on them, which is...
Those are really good.
Those are really good. So you can, it says, optionally turn. You're like, ooh, this is a very flexible card. I can use this kind of anywhere. There's not as much restriction when you have those optional components. You're like, okay, I can turn left and then move straight to, or, let me use this other card that lets me freely spin around. There's a little 360 circle, so you're like, okay, I can face any direction I want, and then move, and then I'll play this other card that had that optional turn. So now I'm going to actually use that turn because it'll work out for me. So there's a lot of just downtime, I guess I would say, in this game, though, where you're like, I could do this one, and then this one. Now let me put this one this way. So you're strategizing.
Yeah, because you do kind of have to do your whole hand. If you're going to use 3 cards, you have to think of all 3 cards in order.
Yes, you're not gonna just play one, yeah, let me do this, and then you go, oh shoot, I should have played this one first, because then you've already moved. That downtime can kind of be, strategized on other players' turns. You're like, okay, I'm gonna do this on my turn, but then there's cards like the frog, where somebody could just play the frog card. I'm gonna place this frog right next to you, and he's gonna eat all those dragonflies that are adjacent to him and really screw you over.
Boop. Boop. Yeah, so I guess you can strategize your turn and say, unless this happens, this is what I'm going to do. And then he might mess it up. Okay, now I have to rethink things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That almost makes it feel like a Smirk and Dagger game with that take. That
without the exception of the theme, this does feel like a Smirk and Dagger game. It's a bit more cutthroat. It's not...
At 2 players.
Yeah, it's really cutthroat at 2 players. It's less. I mean, it's still mean at higher player counts.
Mhm.
It is super cutthroat at 2 players. It's again, if you've watched this channel I always say if it's 2 to 4, 2 to 5, or 2 to 6, I'm always skeptical about the 2. The 2 in this is very, very cutthroat. But this actually, correction, this isn't 2 to 6. This is 1 to 4.
Yeah.
Sorry, this isn't 2 to 4. This is 1 to 4. And I will go ahead and say, and you can tell me in the comments if you think I'm wrong about this, but I will never play any solo variants of games. I just pretty much don't do it because I think the reason why you play a game is to play with people. Is you get people over, you have beer and you hang out. Playing a board game by myself, I just probably will never do that. But if you're saying, Tom, you're missing out, you should play this game solo, then get on there, keyboard warriors.
The thing that keeps this game really fresh, though, besides just being, okay, I draw cards, I play the hand I'm dealt, or, try and, move around or use frogs to mess with people, is the weather cards. So each round, besides the first round, you're going to have a new weather card come out that'll put an effect on the game for that round. Sometimes it's just an immediate, everybody gets to put a dragonfly on the board, or everyone gets extra cards this turn. Sometimes it really just affects the entire round of how it's played out. Like this one, Smirky Day. If you bump into another koi fish on your turn, steal one of their dragonflies. So that's really adds to that cutthroatness where you're like, ooh, I don't have to go for a dragonfly this turn. I can steal one from somebody who went prior to me. But if you're the first player, this card really sucks for you. Because you have no one to steal from because they don't have any dragonflies. Treat all movement icons as optional this round.
I was just looking at that one.
Yeah,
but it still says only choose 2 icons per card following the order shown. So they are game changers, but they're not game breakers.
Mm-hmm.
They are well balanced. And there is a lot of them too.
Yeah.
You use 7 or 4 on a shorter game. And there's a decent amount. So you
could play 3 games not using the same cards, which is really cool.
Yeah, that is good. And I don't know if we've said this already, but the components in this game are high quality and beautiful.
They're unique.
They're very unique. All the shapes are different. These little dragonfly meeples and frog. It's frogs, right?
Yeah, those are frogs.
Yeah, frog meeples. The cards. It's just. They're just beautiful. And they're good quality cards, good quality tokens. The box even feels really good. I don't know, I feel like Smirk and Dagger's been stepping it up. Because what was, their first game that they ever did, Cutthroat Caverns, one of my complaints on that was it was a little bit, the tokens were a little thin, box was a little but now they are.
Well, now they're 2 companies in one, so they're doing good.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for unique meeples, this has got a whole bunch of dragonflies and frogs in it, so that's one awesome reason to get this game. The koi fish do look a lot like miniature whales to me, though, so I don't know. You could use them as whale meeples or koi meeples like they're intended.
The game is beautiful, and it's if you want to get differently shaped meeples for your playtesting of your game or whatever, there's a lot of good reasons for you to get this game. But on to my negatives for it, though, is I just felt like it wasn't really my cup of tea. The theme comes through well. It looks good, and you drop the flower here, that pushes everything. Of course, the dragonflies are going to land on the lily pad, so that's when you can jump up. So, the theme works for it, but at its core, it did still feel like a very abstract game. And it's an abstract, chess-like movement game. Mm-hmm. And I generally am not that big a fan of abstract games at all, but I think to pinpoint it more, it's a chess-like. I don't like chess or checkers or Chinese checkers or the Duke. I really didn't like the Duke. And I didn't play Onitama, but just looking at it, maybe I'll play it one day, but looking at it, I'm like, I really don't want to. Kaiju Crush was the only one that had a chess-like movement that I kind of felt like I was surprised I liked because there was a lot of theme in it, and Fairy Tile had a decent amount of chess-like movement in there, but there was more variability and there was some tile placement in there. It's not that it's a bad game. It's not poorly designed or broken at all. There's a lot of balance in it, and there's a lot of good stuff going on here. And I would play it again. I know you like it a lot more. I know Wes likes it because he likes you guys like chess. He loves the Duke, and you guys like chess. And even my sister, which is Wes's wife, she likes this game. So there's probably going to be opportunities where I'm going to be asked to play this game, and I'll say yes. I did have not a great time. I had an okay time playing this. You know, I liked digging through the cards and like trying to find my options. And I did have trouble with the discard to draw new cards because you really have to like know, unless it's like, you know, a bunch of rocks or something, or you know that like your movements really aren't good. You have to like go through all the options on your cards, because if you're not thinking of them in the right order or not skipping an optional turn that you are thinking you should take, or you know what I mean, if it's a long chain of movements and you mess up one in your head and then you dump those cards and they could have been good, you know, and then you just draw a bunch of rocks, you know, like that was kind of hard for me. So again, it's not that I hated the game, or it was just okay for me.
This is a very strategic game. You definitely have to map out your turns. And I think they did a really good job of making the take that cards in here not as game breaking or beneficial to you as actually taking a turn and moving around. Like if I'm just going to drop rocks in front of you or use the flowers to move the dragonflies away from you, I'm just taking points away from you, but I'm not actually gaining anything for myself. So I'm not going to get points. I'm just messing with people. The people that are actually, you know, using the frog every once in a while when they have it is, you know, they're like, okay, well, I'm going to use it. I don't feel like dumping it. But actually moving around and strategically, you know, getting around these new obstacles that are on the board, you're going to win because you're getting points by eating the dragonflies. I don't know. It's interesting. It's not as movement intensive as like the Duke or chess, because it's not like, okay, this piece has this unique one and this one has this unique one. You just have your one koi on the board and you're just moving him with those cards. But it is like a lot of thinking, I guess.
I mean, you liked it better than I did.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. It's a puzzle to me. It's very like, how can I maximize points with the movement that I have? And it's fun. Like, you know, there's a little bit of, you know, I'm going to put this rock in front of you, mixed in with, okay, let's see if I can, you know, eat these frogs that he just put in front of me because he wanted to take away the dragonfly, but also...
It is good that with those take that elements that you can't put them next to each other, so you can't completely just block somebody off.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, and even with, like, if you're putting more lily pads on there, you can't put a lily pad next to a lily pad and just make this, like, cluster of points that are, you're like, okay, when the new dragonflies spawn at the next round, I could just beeline 3 forward and get 3, you know, 3 times 3 points, 9 points.
Yeah, do that. Yeah. 3 times 3, hang on. Whoop.
Carry the 1, -1.
Who has a calculator? Or barring that, an abacus.
So yeah, I enjoyed this game. It's not my favorite abstract movement game, but it is fun. It definitely, you know, I think it supports like 4 players really well, you know, all simultaneously moving around the board like that. There's not a lot of other games that I can think of that have that abstract movement but are 4 players. You know, most of those types of games, like the Duke and Onitama, are 2-player games where you're just trying to take each other out. You know, you're just trying to be the last man standing. This, it's just, you know, very tranquil. We're all just swimming around the pond, eating bugs and frogs and collecting points. That mixed in with the weather cards changing up every round, that was like the crux that I really liked. I liked these weather cards changing the game, making it different each round.
Well, if any of what we were talking about sounds interesting to you, or if just, you know, when you watch our reviews, you tend to agree with Wes and Aaron more than you agree with me, we're going to put a purchase link to Koi in the description box down below. Go get yourself a copy.
While you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you'll never be bored.
We're going to have a purchase link to this game in the description box down below, and you should go click that and buy it. I'm going to start that.
Click that and buy that.
Yep.
And...